Hey, what's good? It's your favorite Hispanic producer, and today I'm going to be talking about networking and how to land placements. So, this one will be a pretty long video, so I'm going to skip most of the introduction. My key with this video is telling you everything that I would have told myself 2 years ago. I started producing 8 years ago, but 2 years ago is when I really started to get placements. Everything I would have done to get to the position where I'm at today. So, as you can see, I have a lot of notes written down. I know this one is going to be a long one, so I'm not going to waste your time. So, what are the keys to network? What is networking first? Because I feel like that term gets tossed around a lot and most people don't even know what networking means. So, networking is establishing a relationship with somebody who you can add value to and they can add value back to you. So, making a connection within the industry, meeting a producer, an artist, an A&R, a manager who you can provide value to and they can provide value back to you. That's networking, as briefly explained as possible. So that is connecting with artists, producers, A&Rs, managers, engineers, anybody from the music industry is worth networking with. Now, why is networking so important? And this is the part that many people don't understand, is that the music industry nowadays is mostly online. Mostly is sending loops to producers, producers sending beats to artists, or producers sending beats to engineers. Because honestly, the whole artist sitting down in the studio with producers doesn't really happen all that much anymore. Or it's not that common, at least. Or the producer will sit down in the studio with the artist and use loops from other producers. So having your networking game on touch is very important. Very important. Because again, if everything is done mostly online, then you need to be good at the online part, because it doesn't matter how talented you are, it doesn't matter how good your music is. Um, you need to be good at connecting with other people. Now, this is one advice that my cousin, which is like a mentor to me, gave me, and is that if there are success stories in your industry, people who have killed it, study them. Study everything they've done, everything good and everything bad, and replicate. In fact, ask them. Try to get in a call with them, DM them, try to get to understand what they've done, because many times when you write out a meaningful email, they'll get back at you and they'll be really pleasure to talk to you. So that's my first advice. Investigate and study the producers that you look up to and understand what they've done. Now, that's my first advice to networking. It isn't really about networking per se, but it will definitely help you to understand your goals. And this one is very important as well. You need to know what your goals are, because you cannot achieve something that you don't know what it is. So first of all, you need to sit down and establish what your goals are, what you want. That's very important. You need to know what you want, and then you need to know how to get it. So, back to networking. I have all these notes written down, which I'm gonna go over. So the first one is Instagram as a resume, and this goes along with many of the other things that I will talk about today, but Instagram is a resume. Why? Most of the time you'll be reaching out to producers or artists or anybody from the industry through Instagram. And what's the first thing they will do? What's the first thing? They will look at your profile. So he thinks your profile, it cannot be private. Second, quit with the whole mysterious producer. I don't post anything. I don't show anything of my work. That doesn't work, bro. You cannot afford to do that. You don't have a catalog. You don't have placements. You don't have nothing to show for. Okay, if you are, I don't know, Q Beats, you can afford not to show anything because people already know who you are. People that are reaching out to you already know who you are, already know your name, and they want to work with you. If you're the one reaching out and I open up your Instagram profile and you don't have any value to provide, your profile doesn't look like you can provide me any value, I'll just skip over it. How should you have your Instagram profile set up? I'm gonna show mine. I'm not the best one at this. There are producers that are way better at the whole Instagram thing than me, but I'm gonna show how I have it set up. So this is my Instagram profile. These are my posts, which is the tracks I have produced. That's it. this is my drum kit, link down in the description. It's a multi-kit over 1 GB, but this is not what the video is about. If you want to check out my drum kit, it's linked down below, whatever, bro. But this is my Instagram profile. Only tracks I have produced, and a multi-kit. And why is that? Because when they open up my profile, they don't care about anything else. So you need to understand that when you're DMing a producer, if he doesn't follow you and he doesn't know you, he doesn't have any interest in working with you, and you need to create that interest. How do you create that interest? Showing that you can provide value. So if I open up your Instagram profile, I don't want to see a picture of you eating pizza with your family, because that won't add me any value. Again, so you might tell me, okay, I have no placements, I have nothing to show for. Yes, you do. You can show your work. So if you have no placements, you can go and do something like this. Just make posts with your beats. This one's pretty cool. So just make posts with your beats and show them that way. So that when you open your profile, they might say, okay, this guy has no placements, but let me check what his music sounds like. Oh, this shit looks cool. Let me answer back. So moving to the second point, loop making. So this one's a good one, because think about it again. Let's say that you want to work with, I don't know. Let's have an outrageous example, Bad Bunny. Now, how many followers does Bad Bunny have? Let me check. Bad Bunny has 47 million followers. Now, if I DM Bad Bunny, will he see it? No. So if I DM Bad Bunny right now and I DM him, hey, can I send you some beats? He won't see it. What's the fastest way to get to an artist, especially an artist at that size? The easiest and fastest way to connect to them is through their producers. So think about it this way. I always think about it this way. So imagine that you make 15 beats a week. And let's say you have the WhatsApp or the iMessage or the Telegram or the email of 15 artists. 15 artists that you know that if you send them a beat, they'll listen to it. They'll open the email or the chat or whatever. 15 might be a little bit too much, isn't it? So imagine if now you exported the loops of every single one of those beats and send it out to producers. Let's say 250 producers. You have an email list with 250 producers, which you send loops to every week. We can make the numbers pretty quickly. So let's make a roundabout. Let's say that you can send your beats to, let me think for myself. So I can send them through WhatsApp to at least 12 artists, 12 big artists that I know that will check them if I send them beats. Now imagine, let's assume that not everybody has 12. Some people might have 20. Some people might have 3. So let's say 7 artists, and we're sending out our loops to 250 people. Now basically, these are the placements opportunity we would have. Okay, I know this number is not very realistic. I know that it doesn't work like this, but this is just to give you the ballpark idea of how exponentially your placement opportunities grow if you're sending out loops to producers, because everybody needs loops. All the time. You're at the studio with an artist, you need loops because you need to hurry up and get the beat done. You need to make a lot of packs for an artist, you use loops. It saves you a lot of time. So loop making will be essential for you. So establish a loop list, learn how to send loops to producers. I can make a video on this if you want it, on how to send loops, how to make a loop list. So if you want, make a comment down below and I'll make a video on it. I won't go into it today because it's way too long to explain, but loop making is essential. Number 3, content creation as a key for audience reach. So you need to find a way for people to find you. That could be a few years ago, I'm talking like 5 years ago, something that was very big was making samples on SoundCloud. So you would drop a compilation of your beats on SoundCloud and people would find you that way. That's pretty much out of fashion. So what's the way now for audience reach? The most common way now is through content creation. So you open up a YouTube channel and you upload tutorials, videos showing you cook up beats, you can make deconstructed, or you can do reels, you can do TikTok, you can do all of them. And that way people will find you and they will find you for your content, and then you redirect that traffic to your Instagram or anywhere where you have displayed your work. So content creation will be your biggest asset when it comes to audience reach. Because again, you don't have placements, so people are not finding you because of the tracks you have produced. You need to get them to you through another way, like making this video. You provide value, they provide value back to you. So, number 4 is reaching out to artists and how to. This one, open up your ears. I cannot tell you the amount of times I've seen, again, all of these points go together. So I've had producers reach out to me through email, through Instagram. I've had producers text me on my leaked phone number to try and get me to send loops. So when you're, it's what I was saying earlier. When you're DMing a producer, you need to understand that they have no interest in working with you because they don't know you. And you need to create that interest. So there's a few things that you need to do. The first one is don't send them a love letter on Instagram DMs. Okay, don't send them a message that's this size, like, hey, my name is blah blah blah, I am from blah blah blah, and I found you through the work you did for blah blah blah. I love the tracks you have produced for blah blah blah, and I would love to send you some loops or work with you. This is my email in case you want to send me loops. Give me your email and I will send you loops. No, bro, they don't care. They don't give a fuck. They have probably 100 other producers DMing them this exact same way. They have no interest in you. And I'm sorry I have to say it this rough way, but you need to get it in your head. They have no interest in you. And the interest they'll have in you, you don't know them, you're not friends with them, is purely professional. You can provide value, they can provide value back. Simple as that. The music industry is a business as well. You need to see it that way as well. So, when you're DMing, this is like DMing, this is like talking to women, okay? This is a quote that my manager told me one time, and it's that, like, you know, if you try too hard, if you text so much, like if you send a girl brick walls, okay, of text, she'll think, oh, this guy is like way too needy and like way too clingy, you know, like I can tell maybe he doesn't have all that much experience talking to women. Like with producers, it's the same. If you send them a love letter this size as your letter of presentation, they won't be interested. And most of the times that you DM people, you need to understand that you will not get an answer. It's not even a no. You will get no answer. Prepare for rejection. Don't take it personal. Too many people are DMing them. They have no interest in working with you. And that's okay. Not everybody will want to work with you. That's okay. So, when you DM producers, keep it simple. Yo, I like your work. What's your email? Yo, I like your work. I'd love to send you some loops. Yo, let's work. Yo, let's work. Quite literally. Literally. Ever since I started sending DMs that are 2 lines, I can tell you that my response rate probably went up like 30 or 50%. It's really that simple because with that message, you're conveying many things. You're conveying first that you're a busy person and that you don't have too much time to write a presentation like this. In fact, you want to know who I am? Check my profile. It's all there. You're conveying that I'm used to working with producers of your caliber. So, you know, if I don't get to work with you, I don't really care, you know? Oh, I definitely care. But I'm conveying the impression that I don't care. I'm just DMing you like, yo, let's work, what's your email? And that's it. You're keeping it simple, you're not wasting time. So the next point I have written down is called traveling. Traveling is essential. And you know, I used to get really pissed at this because every video on YouTube and everybody will tell you to travel. And it's like, bro, I am from Uruguay, a country in the middle of fuck nowhere, South America. A ticket to the United States, to Los Angeles, costs me roughly $1,200, plus the visa, plus the Airbnb I'll be staying in for 2 weeks, plus the food, plus the accommodation and transportation. Like, I cannot afford to travel to Los Angeles for 2 weeks and make beats, bro. That only works for you because you're in Los Angeles or you're in the United States and you can move around. Trust me, I used to get really, 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 really pissed at that concept of traveling being so essential. Traveling is crucial. Doesn't matter. Get it out of your head. You need to do it. Okay, you can travel to the United States or to Europe. I understand that. Travel within your own country. There's definitely a music industry, either bigger or smaller, in your country. There's one for sure. You need to travel. You need to be there. You need to be there in the studio sessions. You need to be there meeting people. You need to be there at the places they usually hang out at. You never know, and this is a point that I have written way deep down the line, but you never know who somebody knows. Never. And you should take every single opportunity you get seriously. Every single opportunity you get, take it as the biggest opportunity of your career, independently. Take it as one. Doesn't matter how, like, what value it gives you back, just take it as a key opportunity. Now, about the whole traveling thing, you might tell me, okay, like, I can travel to the city, but I don't have enough money to pay for an Airbnb. Bro, I've slept at bus terminals. I've literally slept at Montevideo's bus terminal just so I could go to a studio session. I did it. I left the studio session with a track, so I can complain, And it was a pretty big placement. It was my first placement within my country, so I can tell you for a fact, you need to travel, you need to move. And I know it's a hassle, and I know it's a pain in the ass, and I know you'd much rather be at your house comfortably in your desk. You need to travel. You need to get used to it. You might tell me, okay, I can travel, but where to? Because I have no connections. This is what I was talking about, reaching to producers and building relationship with them. Once you do that step, suddenly you'll start getting invited to the studio sessions. They'll tell you, hey, we have this on this date. Maybe they don't invite you to the studio session, but they tell you, hey, maybe you could send some loops or something. Connect with people locally. That's very important as well. Grow roots everywhere you can. Now, this one I wrote the Genius Method, and I'm going to talk about the Genius Method. So, you remember how earlier today I said that the fastest way to an artist was through his producers? Simple as that. Now, where can I find the producers, you might ask? Now, there's this website that's called genius.com. And in genius.com, you have the lyrics to all the tracks that are out there, but also you have the credits to all the tracks that are out there. So, you can just look up the name of a track and have the credits of the whole team behind the track. So, production, engineers, and every artist has an artist profile where they have their Instagram. So, let's say we want to work with, I don't know, Boss Mandilo. So we would look up Boss Mandilo. Let's open up this last album he dropped. We can open up on a tab some tracks like this one. Let's say this one. You can just do this for all of them, honestly. You can come in here and see, okay, who made this beat? Lou Ron made this. Alright, let's look up here. Lou Ron made this. He's worked with Sexy Red, Drake, Boss Mandilo. Alright, this is Instagram. Now I'll follow him and DM him. Yo, let's work. I like your stuff. Simple as that. Again, you won't get a response. Not even most of the times, not even half the times, you won't get a response. Get ready for rejection. It's not personal. Again, they have way too many people reaching out to them that want to work with them. If they don't choose you, it's not personal. They have way too many people reaching out. So, the more people you reach out to, the more positive responses you'll get back. It's a statistic. So, let's see that 20% of the people you reach out to answer back. Okay, you cannot make that 20% go up higher, but you can reach out to more people and in turn get more responses. So I would literally just do this. Come in here. Okay, DA got that dope. This is a very big producer, so I'll probably just take him out the list, So alright, let's see this one. Gentle Beats. Alright, I'll just go in here. Gentle Beats. Go into his Instagram. Follow him. And then again, reach out saying, yo, I like your work. What's your email? Where can I send you some loops? Something along the lines. The most important thing is not looking too needy. Making them feel, through your message, that you're used to working with producers of that caliber. You're used to working with big producers, you're used to working with successful producers, and you're a successful producer, and you convey that from the way you talk. So there's another one I wrote, which is called Working with Producers at Your Same Level and Growing Vertically Together. So my point with this is that I am martinleib, and I have 3,600 followers. Can I just DM Murder Beats and say, yo, let's work? No, he won't see it, he won't care. What do I need to do? Try to find producers that are at the same stage of their career as me and try to work with them simultaneously and grow with them. Not everything is black and white, and you don't need to think about everything so business minded, you know? Try to make relationships with people, connect with humans, you know? Don't see them as just numbers. I see that many people make that mistake as well, and people can read through you. People can read your intentions. And if you just look greedy, or if you just look like a person that's purely interested in what you can get out of that person, nobody will want to work with you. So I have another point, which is called email tracking and reaching out through email, which I will not cover today because I feel like it's very connected to loop making and sending out loops. So if you guys want a video on how to make a loop list and send out loops, comment it down below. I'll cover email tracking, sending loops, and all of that, and how to make a list and automate it in that video. Now, next point, and this one is so important, it's called being there. You need to be there. You need to be there at the studio sessions. You need to be there at the places that the artists are at. You need to be there. You need to be there with the producers. It's very related to the whole traveling part. But as I said, you know, I've slept on bus terminals, like quite literally on a chair so I could go to a studio session. I've slept in sofas. I've traveled for hours just to be at a studio session, you know? You have to do it. You have to do it. And that's it. It's sacrifices that you need to make. And if you're not willing to make them, there will be somebody else who will be willing to make them that will take your place. Now, the next one is don't be an idiot. Don't be an idiot is pretty straightforward point. Now, don't be an idiot has many possible interpretations. So first one, don't have an annoying personality, don't have a really big ego, don't ghost people, don't be an ass. All right? You know what being an ass is like, and you know what not being an ass is like. So don't be an ass. Next one is lame identity and name. And it's very related to the don't be an idiot, but I feel like don't be an idiot and don't be an ass have a negative undertone to them, and lame identity and name don't necessarily do, because you might be perceived as lame, and you probably don't have any wrongful intentions behind it. So the whole lame identity and name is very important, because if you have a lame producer name, like, I don't know, Chris the Beat Killer 7000, people will not want to work with you, no matter how good you are, because your name looks bad, and in the credits of the track the name would look bad. And I know it sounds so superficial and stupid, but you know, think that maybe you have 100 people sending you packs of loops every week to your email, and you see an email from, I don't know, a producer with a decent name, and Chris killed this beat 7000. Which pack will you open and which one will you not open, bro? It's very simple. Don't have a lame name. Don't have a lame producer name. And don't have a lame identity. Like, I don't know, I see all these producers that they make the whole identity about like posting money and like just displaying wealth. Like, bro, you're lame. I'm sorry to tell you, people will probably not want to work with you. So tone down the ego for a bit and change your identity as an artist, and just make yourself not corny. This one is a little idea that I wrote to close up the video, and is that we can all start with a future record. So we can all start with a future placement on our career. You need to work your way up, you know? It's little steps that you need to take. I know it's frustrating to work without results. I know it's frustrating to feel like you're not seeing anything in exchange for all the work that you've been putting in. I know how hard it is to work long hours, but you have to do it. and you have to work your way up. There are no shortcuts. There are no red pills. Like, there are no you do this and suddenly boom, you're there. You need to work your way up, and you need to work your ass off, because if you don't do it, guess what? There will be another person more determined than you, that's more willing to sacrifice than you are, that will do it for you, and they will take your possession. The music industry is like the football, the football sport. How many football players, get to be Messi or Neymar? Only a very small percentage of producers will make it to the industry. Now, don't let that demotivate you. Because what do all of these very successful football players and all these very successful music producers have in common? They have worked their ass off, and they have worked all the way to the top. They've worked tirelessly. They have worked day in and day out, night in and night out. They've put in the hours. You cannot get there if you don't do that. Nobody will do it for you. And again, if you're not committed, if you're not willing to take sacrifices, somebody else will do it for you. Alright, that was pretty much it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I feel like I would have loved to go into depth into the whole loop making, because I feel like that's one of the most important points. But if not, I don't know how long this video is, because I've recorded it in many takes. I don't know if you noticed. This video, if I covered loop making and how to make a loop list and reaching out and sending out loops and email tracking and how to send the loops, this video would have been over 1 hour long. And I don't know if you want to watch me yap for 1 hour long. So I'm gonna go. If you want a loop making video and sending out loops and everything, comment it down below and I'll make it this week. Peace out. Have a nice one, and hope you have a lovely day.